Facebook Live. I'm Dee Soysher. I have a blog called Thrifty, and we are going to make a live wreath today. So, come on in, say hello, give me some hearts and thumbs up so we know that you're here, and tell me where you're coming from. I'm in the suburbs of Denver, and we have a beautiful spring day, but I know the whole East Coast is under snow. So this is kind of a good spring wreath to get you started, to make you feel a little bit more springy. And it's so simple and really inexpensive. All you need is a dollar store wreath form. And if you don't have a dollar store, they have them at Walmart for $1.77. Dollar store obviously is $1. And then this drip pan, which is what goes on your stove, the little drip pan. And I couldn't remember the name of it when I wrote the blog, but it's a drip pan. And you are going to need a little bit of sheet moss. I found this also at Walmart in the same section, but I do think you can get it other places, and you don't need to get the expensive kind. I found these flowers at Walmart also, and I know at some places in the country you're not able to find flowers right now. Just try to avoid the, expensive flowers. But and a roll of burlap, Walmart, also same section. It's all in the wreath making section, the crafting section. And I'm using some burlap ribbon, but you can use anything you want, and you don't even need to use ribbon. Okay, so let's get started. So all I'm gonna do is I took off the tags of my wreath form and my drip pan. Oh, almost forgot, you're gonna need some, what's this called?
Floral wire.
Thank you, floral wire. So, okay, before we get started, if you don't want to see the comments, swipe right, and those comments will go away. And then you'll be able to see the whole picture, and then you won't see the live thing on top. So swipe right if you want to. The second thing is, Hometalk is doing a giveaway today for a Hometalk tote. And our question of the day is, what kind of flowers would you use for your living wreath? I am using something called Abrietta, which is really beautiful, and it looks like a tiny little dragon, snapdragon.
Kind of looks like a pansy.
A pansy and a snapdragon had a baby, and it's called an Abrietta.
That's their baby right there.
Yeah, right there. Okay, and what I do like about using this wreath form is, instead of using it this way, which you could, we are going to flip it upside down so that it's swooping down.
So it's a little bit concave. We're going to convex it.
Con something. Okay, so, and what I did is I bent it up a little bit so that it makes more of a well. And actually you don't have to, but it just makes it easier. And it's $1, wreath, so.
So you're making it kind of like a bowl.
Exactly, a reservoir, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Reservoir is the fancy word for it. So then you're gonna take, okay, so this goes on top, and you're gonna set this, which also is making a reservoir for your flowers. And the great thing about this is, there's holes already in it, and I'm just taking floral wire, but in a pinch, you could totally use a twisty tie, and I'm just using kitchen shears to cut the floral wire. Leslie, and this is my camera woman, Leslie, and she is going to be reading the questions and helping out today. So what kind of flowers are other people using?
Well, some people have said daisies. Carolina said she made one last year with roses and it came out beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Succulents.
Yes, succulents would be really great.
Yes, succulents would be gorgeous.
Especially if you live in a really warm climate.
Now, could you put dirt in the reservoir?
Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
And I'll show you how we're going to do that in a minute. But, so basically you're going to twist this onto the frame, twist the drip pan onto the floral wreath in a few different spots, and I'm just using kitchen shears to trim my wire. You don't even need, if you have them, you can use your tin snips, but you don't need it.
And what holes are you putting those
This
through?
just came with, this drip pan came with these little holes here, and I don't know what they're for, but I didn't have to add them. And you could, if you have a drip pan that needs holes, just use a nail and a hammer, and hammer a nail through it. Just be careful what, don't hammer it on something important, but.
Well, hello, Rosaline from Ireland.
Oh, Rosaline, what a beautiful name. So yeah, I was thinking you can do this with succulents, and if you did it with succulents, you wouldn't even need the reservoir. You could just do it all on the outside, which would be really cool. But since we're using a plant with dirt, I just thought this would be easier. And
Rhonda, the holes were already in the drip pan, but yes,
Yeah.
you could use a drill probably if you didn't get one that already had holes.
And you could even just use a hammer and a nail just to nail a little hole in it and, you know, pull the nail out, obviously.
Carol says pansies and marigolds would be pretty.
Yes, I think pansies are really beautiful. And right now, so it depends on where you live. You might be lucky and have flowers all year round. Here, we don't, our first planting date, I think, is May 10th. Does anyone else know their planting date? That's like after our first frost, because we have a short growing season here. So we don't even have flowers in our grocery store yet. So, and that's kind of where I like to buy mine, because I'm cheap. I want to buy them at the fancy garden shop because they're expensive. Okay, so this is going to be covered, so don't worry about it. You just want it to hold on there, like that. I need to get that one a little bit better. So anyway, the other thing I like about this drip pan is that it has this giant hole on the top, and I don't even know what these holes are for, but you're going to string our ribbon through that hole to hold it up. So anyway, I'm trying to do this quickly, attach these two together. And so besides what flowers have you used, what other receptacles have you used to plant flowers? Anyone have a fun idea of where they can plant flowers, an unusual idea?
Ooh, lilacs would be pretty.
Ooh, lilacs would be really pretty. And you know what? You don't have to use, this is a live wreath, by the way, but you don't have to use live flowers. You could totally use fake flowers, which would still be pretty, or both, actually. Okay, so some rolled burlap, and you can find this at Walmart. I don't know if you can get this at the dollar store, but Walmart has everything, as you know, or you can find it at a hardware store, too. Or if you have an old bag, a burlap sack or something in the garage, just cut a piece of that.
And Dee, for those who just joined us, what are you making?
I am making a living wreath, a spring living wreath. I'm using Aubrietta, which I haven't heard of since before this year, and it's a full sunflower, but you could use pansies, which would be really pretty. People are suggesting lilacs you could put in there, really, or succulents, which would be great because it doesn't require a lot of water. So anyway, take your entire wreath here and just put the burlap on the back end. And then I'm going to snip a little cut here, just so I can remember where that hole is. And then snip it in the center, because we're going to want to come back later and I'll show you what we're doing there. Then it's just a matter of folding this up and over like that. And then you can just leave it like this. Okay. So our next thing we're going to do is use sheet moss. Also, I found this at Joann, and today Joann has a 60% off coupon for one item. So look on your phone, Google it. Because who wants to pay full price for anything at Joann's? You feel like a total, you know.
What's she doing now?
What am I doing now?
Just rinsing it? Just getting it wet?
I'm just doing a little laundry. I put my sheet moss in some warm water, and it's just going to absorb the water and then make it so you can tear it apart. And I don't want it to be in one long sheet. I want it to be a little rustic, you know, a little florally designy. Okay, so this is warm water. You just let it soak for a couple seconds, and then you can use it. Also, well, you can use different kinds, but I'm just using the sheet moss. I would say use a coupon. It can be a little pricey, so use your best judgment. And then I like to tear it apart.
Danette has used a round Jello mold.
See,
or like a bundt pan.
Yeah, I think that's a really cute idea.
A tea kettle, a wheelbarrow.
Oh, very cute. Ooh, wheelbarrow.
Whiskey barrels.
Yes, yep. And all you're gonna do here is I'm putting the moss, I'm bringing it out a tiny bit. So let's talk about I'm in my kitchen and I'm working on my kitchen counter. So what I did was when I moved in, I just had a very big piece of vinyl cut the size of my island. And that way I could, uh-oh. We're still good? Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. I had a piece of vinyl cut for my island so that I could work on it, you know, without messing it up. And then I just put some paper down. So that's why I can use this messy, messy moss here.
Karen's asking, do you think you could use tree moss because it's all over in the southern states?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know. And I
don't know why you couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't. And this is just decorative. It's partially decorative, and it's partially to keep the potting soil from falling through your wreath, the wreath form. So really, this is, I'm not doing, it doesn't have to be beautiful, and I'll show you why. We're just going to stick it all on there, mostly on the outside, on the top rim here. And just bring it out a little bit, but I still want the water in it.
Nikki says that tree moss is full of chiggers, don't use it.
Thank you, Nikki, for that hot tip. Because we will not be
a gold star for that tip.
Yeah, because here's the other thing I was thinking today. I love the idea of putting a little bird nest in there, and then if you've ever really seen a real bird nest, there's lots of poop in it.
Lots of poop in real nests. But a fake one would be super cute.
A fake one would be cute. Real? Not so cute. Okay, so we're going to move this over just a little bit, and I have another tip here for you. Okay, so these are not the small packs, which you could completely use the small packs if you wanted to. This is a bigger size, and I don't know what this official size is, but I'm going to show you a little trick here. And I did one yesterday, so I have a little bit of potting soil left over. You're going to take a little more than half of the potting soil out. Unless it's root bound, this is not, I can use this. And then just crumble it up and I just put it in a bag. Because we're going to use this. But so you don't need to have any additional potting soil. We're just going to use the potting soil that it came with. So is everyone recovering from the big snowstorm? Did you get hit like they thought on the East Coast?
And I don't mean to make y'all feel bad, but we have not had a snowstorm and it's been 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So
okay, except for here's the thing about Denver, and if you live in the Rocky Mountain region, you know this. It's pay now or pay later.
Right.
And we've had no winter, so it will be spring and Easter, and people will be 4 feet under snow. So.
But all I'm saying, ladies, is it's been 80 degrees.
Yes, it has been 80 degrees. Okay, so here's what you do. You could do that with these pansies that come this way, but really what you could do is if you've ever bought a color bowl, I don't know, like an inexpensive color bowl at the grocery store, you can do that with this too. What you're going to do is you're going to look to see inside the plant where there's a natural opening. So you don't want to break any of the plants, but you can see here that it's kind of a few plants planted together. So you're just going to take your thumbs and unroll it to make it into, now you have kind of a line instead of a clump, if that makes any sense at all. So now you can take your leftover potting soil and just stick it in there. Now we're working on the drip pan part. And the drip pan is nice if you live in a kind of a cooler climate because it keeps it from freezing. But if you live in a super hot climate, it might be too warm. So you're going to have to just pay attention to it and make sure that it stays watered.
A lot of people are saying they have 3 feet of snow.
Well, this is the perfect thing to do then to get some pretend spring in your life. Because, yeah, that's brutal. Okay, and then just make sure that you can see the hole, and oh, okay, I think I covered up my other hole here. There we go. So, avoiding that major hole, I'm gonna just plant my little plants in there. Sorry. And also you could, if you had pansies or whatever, in smaller little flats than this, you could just stick them all together.
And you could mix flowers, right?
Yeah, you could mix flowers. And also you could mix fresh flowers with faux flowers. And also, ladies, while you're watching, make sure that you're commenting and telling us what kind of flowers you would like to use, because we want to give away that tote bag.
Yeah, lots of people are saying daisies, succulents, impatiens.
Ooh, impatiens. I love impatiens.
Marigolds are being
Marigolds,
popular.
yeah.
Should be pretty.
Yeah. You know what I think would be good too is sweet alyssum. I love the way it smells, and it's so dainty. So we just need to get rid of a little bit more of this dirt here. Who likes playing in the dirt? I do. I totally like to garden and play in the dirt. I think it's so fun.
Those sunflowers would be pretty.
Yeah, really pretty. Okay, so as you can see, I only used 3, and that's filling it up pretty much full here. So in the little spots where, oops, I gotta make sure this gets tucked in. Then you can take a little bit more of your sheet moss if you have some left over, and just put it kind of in between anywhere where you see potting soil, because that's going to help keep in the moisture, and you don't want it to dry out. Okay.
So Joan says California poppies would be
Oh,
pretty.
that would be really pretty. That's my mom. Hey, Joan.
Shout out to Joan.
Shout out to Joan. That's her favorite flower. Okay, so now we're going to use floral wire. I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so keep it on its spool. And what you're going to do is you are going to stick it through the middle hole of the wreath. And let me just find that.
Where she cut that hole in the
Yep,
burlap.
Yep, in the burlap. And then let me twist this around. You can twist it, stick it through the wreath form. Twist it all up here.
And this is going over top of the flowers.
It's going over the top of the flowers and the moss. Let's just
Those
twist.
snapdragons would be pretty.
I love snapdragons. I have a funny story. My son was so afraid of snapdragons when he was little, because I thought it would be nice to, cute to show him what a snapdragon did. Well, I think I gave him nightmares for his entire life, because he thought they were coming alive. That wasn't my best parenting moment, but so you're gonna put the spool through the bottom of the wreath, and then you're gonna find a spot where there aren't any blooms and secure it around.
And then show the bottom.
Okay, so see how it's like sewing a little bit, and then just stick that back through the top. So because you're using a spool, you're not gonna lose your
wire.
Lose your wire, right. And then you just do this all the way around. And then it kind of tightens it up. So if the burlap was, hanging off on the end, I'll show you, it'll fix it.
Julie's saying basil, and actually that would be a great idea
that is
to
a
do like
great
a
idea.
kitchen garden.
Yes, or that would be a really nice hostess gift.
Very.
Or
This would be a nice hostess
Yeah,
gift.
I think so too. So ladies, what's going on? And are you so sad in the snowy areas? You want spring? Can you feel it coming?
Lots of people are buried in snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know the feeling. It gets very snowy here around Easter when nobody wants snow.
You could put...
So Leslie, here.
Cindy just said you could put something in the center like a Disney character, or even like for Easter you could do
Oh,
like
cute.
little eggs.
Oh, I love that idea.
Or the bird's nest.
So see how this is, the burlap came down away from here? I'm just going to tuck that back in and put my wire around it.
And she says she's not a seamstress, folks.
I am not.
I beg to differ.
This is called sewing with wire and dirt.
Ooh, strawberries is a good idea.
Oh, that is a great idea. Okay, so you can see we're just tucking this in, and actually it makes it, I don't know, this step makes it so much better, because first of all, it keeps things compact. It just looks a lot nicer. So just don't smash your blooms and don't get them so tight you're killing anything.
So Sherry, she's using a drip pan from like an oven. You can just buy the drip pan at Walmart or Target.
Or even at a dollar store, I
Or
think.
the dollar store. And a little floral wire wreath form.
Yeah, but you could totally use 2 wreath forms. You don't even have to use the drip pan. The reason why I'm using the drip pan is because I'm using a flower that had a lot of potting soil. If you did a succulent that doesn't have a lot of potting soil, you could just use the form. So I'm going all the way around here and around and around, and I will just finish it up because
this would be so cute for the holidays with whatever you wanted in the middle, like a shamrock or little eggs.
Okay, so I think that's probably good. So we can tie this off. Now, option B, which I don't think I'm going to do, but you totally could, is you could buy also a roll of sheet moss, and it has like a sticky back. If you were going to hang this on your front door, this would be your issue, is that you're going to have wires here. And if you don't want this to scratch your door, you could put the whole thing on a line of sheet moss like this and cover the whole back.
And that's just sticky.
It's sticky. And you know what? You would probably have to put it on with a few wires because it's not going to stick, I don't think. That's an option. I'm not going to put this on my front door. I am going to hang it on my fence, so I don't need, I don't care if it has wires in the back. It's not going to scratch anything. I'm putting it on a fence post.
Angie's saying it would look pretty in the middle of the umbrella.
That's exactly what I was going to tell you at the end, Angie. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you put your umbrella through the hole here on your table, your Easter table, so pretty. If you get to eat Easter dinner outside, you're so lucky if you live in a place where you can do that. I don't think have you ever had Easter outside? It's usually snowy here in Denver on Easter.
You could put felt on the back too, Julie said.
That's a good idea, Julie. Okay, so now comes the ribbon. So remember when we started, there was a hole on the top of the drip pan, and so I made sure to put a hole inside the burlap. And if you're just joining us, we're making a living wreath with aubrietta flowers, which I hadn't heard of until this year, which we decided look a little bit like if a snapdragon and a pansy had a baby. That's what it would be. It smells greenish, but
smells very gardeny.
It does smell gardeny. And you know what the best smell ever is? When you put the sheet moss in the warm water, it smells just like spring.
This right here, ladies, it looks real yucky, but it smells delicious.
It smells so good. It smells like rain in here. It smells
like
really good. Okay, we got a little sidetracked by the rain. Okay, so burlap ribbon doesn't have to be burlap. In fact, you could just cut a piece of your burlap in a strip. But I have this, so...
Or grosgrain or whatever. It would be cute with whatever.
Completely whatever you wanted. You're going to stick it through the hole. You could tie a bow, or you could just make a knot, or I would love it if I could just make it very simple. But you can see, how pretty is that? And then so you could add additional, you could stick alyssum in here, you could do additional pansies or whatever. Oh wait, you know what, let's go back. Okay.
Back up the bus.
Let's back up the bus. Okay, because before you put this ribbon in, this is what I would do. Because I actually did this yesterday accidentally. You would take this entire wreath, put it on top of a bucket or something like that. You can take it outside and hose it down completely, drench it. Then let it drip all the way out, then hang it. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna plump up the perlite in your potting mix. It's going to plump up all this moss, kind of make it full and fat, like you like it. And that way it will stay moist, which is a terrible word. It'll stay wet longer. And then also the burlap and the moss can kind of stick together when it's dried. But I would do that before I put in the ribbon. Let's just pretend like we did. We dunked it. You can even dunk it in a bucket.
And this is what the remains was.
That's what it looks like, because that's what I used yesterday. So you dunk it in the bucket. It's not going to hurt it. Then put it on top of the bucket, just like this. Let it all drip out, I don't know, for an hour or so. Then put your ribbon in there and hang it on a fence post or whatever you want to do with it. You could put a little bird's nest in here, which would be so cute, or even add some pussy willow sprigs.
Or baby sprout.
Oh, I have some pussy willow here. Let's do that.
She's just going to clip some pussy willow off her flowers that she just happens to have in the kitchen.
What a surprise. Actually, Leslie and I can talk a little bit about something called urban foraging. Leslie, remember when we we got caught urban foraging?
We were urban foraging.
We were urban foraging for some lilacs, and we saw them. Okay, in our defense, they were on the outside of a fence.
Hanging over onto the street
Right,
side.
yeah, just hanging over there.
Just for us to cut.
So we did, and the lady was none too happy about it.
But in our defense, that woman could not see those from her window, from her deck.
The fence.
They were on the street side.
On the sidewalk for all to enjoy.
Which
so
we did.
urban foraged. Mm-hmm. You know, we just took our clippers and just clipped some, and she was not happy, but hey, you know what? Okay, so I'm sticking these little pussy willows inside my floral wire. Just, you know, little here and there, trying not to break it. I'm looking for a wire. I also cut my finger today, but okay. Okay, look how cute that is.
Can you all see that?
Wait, I'm gonna hold it up just a sec. I'm just adding a little pussy willows in there, tucking those in. That's cute.
Now see, this is called on the fly.
This is on the fly
DIY.
craft. Oh my gosh, Leslie just came up with my new catchphrase.
I coined the phrase.
Yeah, you did. So actually,
Whoops.
boinks. Anyway, you can see what we're doing here. And pussy willows right now are in bloom. And I just cut these. I urban foraged them from my neighbor who said I could. So I'm not going to get yelled at for that urban foraging that I just did.
Ooh, Rebecca, fairy lights would be so cute in there.
Oh, yes. And I have some in the other room, but I can't run already to get them. Okay, fairy lights, so cute. Okay, so fairy lights we like. We like the umbrella, around the umbrella outside
we
for
love
your
a
dinner.
nest or eggs.
The nest, not the real nest, but like a little, nest with eggs, so cute.
You could just have my puppy dig up some of your dead grass. She'll make you a nest real quick.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I have a nest right outside my door, but I looked and I thought, oh, cute, and then not cute. It's a little, and fleas, and I don't know what's in there.
So are these also Johnny Jump Ups?
I don't think, no, it's not a Johnny Jump Up, because a Johnny Jump Up is kind of like a small pansy. Am I right?
Well, I kind of think this looks like a small pansy. Do you not?
It does. I agree, but I don't know.
Oh, no, maybe not.
It's called an aubrietta. Anyway.
It's so pretty.
Look how cute this is. So this could go on your front door. I'm going to put mine on a fence post. And, okay, so now we have to pick a winner of what our favorite idea is. Any ideas? Hometalk, are you thinking about it? You want me to pick it? What would you like?
The winner is going to be Catherine.
Oh, Catherine!
How do you say that? L'Oreal.
Oh, Catherine! What was
her idea?
Yeah, what was your idea?
Strawberries.
Oh, strawberries. Great idea,
Perfect.
Catherine. And, ooh, strawberries and like cilantro or parsley. I love that idea. So
the herbs is a great idea.
Herbs is a really great idea. And so you can hang this outside. You can hang it on your front door. Enjoy. So like and share with your friends if you think someone would like to make a spring wreath, and make sure you are following our page. And if you want to do step by step, all you have to do is share this to your own wall, and that way you can go back and watch it later, and you can kind of slow it down and do step by step. And also tune in for all of our Facebook Lives. You can get notifications. Just click on your little notifications bar and join us, I think, tonight at 7 in a couple hours for a little bit more DIY. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Dee Soysher. My blog is Thrifty, and I hope you'll come back and join us. We'll talk to you later.